YouTube, welcome back. Well, what's up? It has been a couple days of kind of nothing. I've been kind of feeling under the weather. If you can't tell from how I sound, I'm crazy, like congested. I got like I don't know, some kind of sinus thing going on. A lot of freaking like brown and green gunk coming out of my nose. So a couple boring training days. Did a little bit, didn't do a whole lot. So didn't even bother recording. It was kind of shitty, low energy. But we're back. We got a nice day today. We're upper for the near future. Still sprinting when we can. Gonna keep one at least, I think, maybe 2 days a week. It doesn't fit the schedule the best right now, so definitely still once a week we'll be getting there, doing some sprints, some high quality work there. But training goals for the near future, getting a little more jacked here. I'm gonna keep in a little more hypertrophy work because I just kind of miss doing it a little more. So some changes today to the program, which I will show. That also let me train a little more frequently, which I've been missing. Like, kind of boring just doing a high-low, like really intensive nervous system day and then like just doing nothing the next day. So more volume, more work kind of on average overall. So just more things to be done because it's time to do that kind of stuff. But for today, we have some new things. I don't know if we can actually see this text here, which I whacked it up here just so I can reference it too, but some hypertrophy clusters here, a la Jake Tura. So the old 8 sets of 5, which is gnarly, a lot of volume on paper, but weight's not that crazy heavy. So I've got a pin bench set up for that today. So the same variation as I have been doing, but for kind of different purposes. So I'm like 70 to 75% of my like estimated max of that. I think it'll probably be like 185, which were my down sets last week. That'll be good. But freaking 8 sets of that. And we're gonna keep the rest not that super long. So I'm gonna get some metabolites going here. You're gonna get a little tired in between. That and inverted rows back and forth. I'm gonna get a nice setup, I think, with I got like the reins from like a set of like hanging reins, so I'm gonna set up in the bar so I can kind of like get a little more range of motion and kind of pull and push at the same time. But that, a little bit of seated OHB after, probably gonna keep that closer to 12 reps just to make that feel nice and push. I kind of like seated, I like a higher rep overhead press better, usually it feels better on me. Some incline curls, a little bit of tricep, and perhaps some grip supersetted with that if I'm not cooked by then, but I really don't know how these 8x5s are gonna make me feel because I've never actually done them before, but I'm stoked to try it. I'm gonna get after it. That's all. I might not record all these because that's gonna be 8 freaking sets of like moving back and forth, but I'm definitely gonna get some, and I'm gonna get all 8 done for sure. So let's go. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna pound some honey, and we're gonna get into the thick of it real quick. All right, VBT is hooked up here. I want this, I don't even know. This will probably be like a 7 or 8 RPE, I think, for the most part. Let's see. It's probably gonna be around 185 per working set. I might bring it down a little bit if that feels too hard as I go on, but that felt easy when I did this last time, and I'm gonna be stronger than that when I was beat up last week. So we'll see. We're gonna warm up as normal. Like I said, usual things of just pulling and pushing here. All right. Yeah, that's fast as shit. We'll go 185. I think that'll be solid. Let's check the speed on that. That feels good. Yeah, 0.4. Okay. Maybe I should drop it a tad. All right, I will keep that there. If it starts to get weird as the sets go on, I will drop it a little bit if needed, but I think that'll be good, especially once I do get a couple under my belt there. But inverted row here, I got these rings set up so I can kind of rotate and pull. Looks kind of wonk, but once it's set up, I think it'll be sweet. Just like 10 here, and I'm pulling really hard. Perfect. That's really good difficulty too. Sweet. And yeah, we're back and forth for this now for quite a few sets. I'm gonna do 8 total. So that's 1 of 8 rounds. So we'll get going. Just hit a time lapse for these hypertrophy cluster sets here so I could just focus at the time when I was doing it and not really have to think so much in between. And so I wasn't recording a billion sets, but really good. Kept the rest around 2 minutes between the press variation here, so rest was incomplete and this was hard. Okay. That was gnarly. The whole thing took about just under 20 minutes, and man, freaking pumped, which duh, that many reps in that much time. That's 80 inverted rows. That's 40 presses from the pin press there. Load selection was okay. I think I maybe could have started at just like 175, like 10 pounds later, it would have been maybe better, but they weren't slowing down that much. It was like still 0.3 at the absolute slowest, worst one in that last set of that pin press. So I'm not super mad at that, but a little bit, probably would have been a little bit lighter, probably better, so I could push into it. But the inverted row was harder than that, actually. Those were getting freaking gnarly towards the end. Like those last 2 or 3 sets were getting rough at the top. So I'm freaking getting my pump on. Yeah, that took a little under 20 minutes. And boy, we're getting juicy. So seated overhead press is written down right now. Incline curls for sure. My triceps won't be cooked. We'll see when I get to this, how the overhead presses, but it'll probably be okay. We'll feel it out. Maybe it'll just be lighter than it otherwise would be, but that's fine. That and incline curl for sure. I'm gonna do that regular fashion and just do those sets instead of a big old time lapse. But yeah, we'll get right into that. Find some load that actually feels good post that destruction. I'm gonna go incline curl here first to give my push muscles a little more time to cool down still, but this should be hard for 8 to 12 here with the 25s. Let's see. Oh yeah, perfectly difficult. 25 or 10 there, that's exactly right. This is only 85 here for this overhead press, but I have a feeling this is gonna be hard. Just on how the bar felt in my hands when I was warming up there. But that's okay, that's a lot of freaking volume, and I'm not used to that. So let's just muscle this out. Ugh. Yep, 10 hard, pretty hard as expected, and a couple in the tank there. That's a great starting point for that. I'm gonna get 2 more working sets of both of those back and forth. Okay, set 2 of these incline curls. These are my favorite bicep movement by far. They always just feel the best, and it's like, they're the most idiot proof, I think, of really only using your bicep. If you really just set the angle up appropriately and just freaking pull. I think you get some good scap stuff too, because of the angle of your shoulder here and the way that it moves freely around. I'm a big fan. When I do these, my shoulders feel nice after. Jeez. All right, lost a rep there already. Oh boy, maybe should have even stopped earlier. You can tell I don't really like doing curls that often. Overhead press, second set here. Sweet. Yeah, no drop off there because that wasn't that super hard. I'm not pushing as hard as the curls. That's good. I'll do one more there for sure. I'll do one more curl too. I'll muscle that out. All right, last set of curls here. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this fell off another rep. It was pretty close to failure the first couple, so I might just do like, this probably just be 8, if that even. Might lose another one. Jeez, not even 8. Oh boy. That was probably harder than it should have been. Maybe you should just rock with the 20s for the first week since I did 3 there from 0, but we'll still take it as a win. That shit was hard. So yeah, done with that. Last foot overhead press here. Okay. Nice. That was appropriately difficult, I think. I think that's how hard the curl maybe should have been, and I maybe should have gone a little lighter, but that's good, especially for the first week of doing this for the next few weeks in this meso. So yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna give it a minute here. Triceps is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna give it a minute. I'll probably still do them. Let me see what variation I'm thinking of. Either like a push down or French press or something maybe, but we'll see what feels all right still. All right, just a straight up push down here. Regular style, flat bar, about a minute, so might be good. And I'm gonna do some just hangs. I got the fat grips up there, so I'm gonna do like just a little bit of that hang in between actually. So some grip because it is fat. It'll be a little difficult, and just some nice shoulder love at the same time. So that'll be good and easy following the rest of that stuff. So let's get into this. I gotta find some weight that's actually difficult. Too easy, that's up. Nice fat hang here, and I'm gonna adjust the width of the handles here throughout to give the shoulders a little bit different feeling every time. Start nice and narrow for the first one. Ooh, a little over 30 there. Something I was thinking about actually earlier that I wanted to talk about on cam is the concept of program hopping and moving around and trying a bunch of different stuff all the time. I would consider myself a chronic program hopper, as in like I literally can't do anyone's full program ever. And like even if I do something for a long time, I did a lot of the Haas project too. I did a lot of that, but like with some adjustments, and that's what I mean. Like I can do some periodization like the other people lay out for a long time, but like I don't know if it's just because I have iPad baby brain or I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but I can't do a like periodized training program that somebody else has written for a long time. Like I really need to either write it myself if I'm going to do something that's longer than like 6 weeks of sustained effort of the same like movements or something going in a like kind of linear-ish direction. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is particularly, but I get worse when stuff like that happens. Like or when I follow a periodized plan like that almost every time. It's like, so I don't know. I'm always trying different things in my training too. I'm always experimenting because I'm coaching. I'm trying to figure out stuff that sticks and works that I can give to athletes. So it's like, I don't know if it's partially that, and maybe I just get bored and want to try different stuff too. But I don't think program hopping is that bad. If you're younger and you have a very low training age, as in like you've been lifting weights, not that, or as in if you're very young and you've been lifting weights for not a very long time, not very difficult, a program is really good. When I was younger in my lifting career, I like just a strict, like even like bodybuilding program got me so much progress in a very low period of time just because of actual progressive overload and like using those variables well for the first time and eating in a surplus and all those things, the basic principles. But at a certain training age, I feel like it's like those things start to matter less in the grand scheme of things. I don't want to say that because they still do matter. Like I still need to eat. I still progress with the overload when I can, but my baseline changes to much higher and much lower than I think it used to. And I think my readiness is a part of that, but I think the programming is a big amount too. And when I try to grind away at the same thing for a long time, I never feel good after a while. So I don't know whether that's me tricking myself with my baby brain into my TikTok baby brain into doing other stuff that I think is fun and kind of quote unquote conjugating my training. So be it. But I don't know. I get better progress that way almost forever, and I have been like a lot for the past 2 years, and that's my most strength gains have come from doing something like that, where I'm still doing all the basics, but not in like a linear or purely like mesocycle of one thing. I'm proving it for 4 weeks kind of thing, kind of way there. But yeah, that's all my rant topic for the day. I don't think program hopping is that bad, especially if you are an athlete and you have maybe non-specific training goals and you're just trying to be generally prepared. I think maybe if program hopping is arguably good. So that's all. The more things you do, the more things you'll be better at. So it kind of sounds stupid, and that is a little stupid. Again, context matters, but not everything is black and white. Very few things actually are. Sweet. That's a little more appropriate. Right into the hang. I'm wider now too. Like I said, I'm going to adjust it set to set. This might be a little more difficult too. I'm trying to just get above 30 with these. I'm not really counting super crazy. I just got the timer going in my head. Usually I'm pretty good at my time. Ooh, that's getting hard there. I'm going to add to that rant that programs are good, and you should do programs just to keep us succinct. But when your training goals particularly are non-specific, like mine are right now, and I just kind of want to keep a lot of things in and be athletic and still jump and sprint while moving the needle maybe in the direction of a couple other things, I think just doing some work is great. And rotating things more frequently to what you are more interested in and you're less beat up doing neurologically, and what you're most interested in, most oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? Most motivated to do, I think will suit you really well in the long term. So that's all. Don't listen to this and don't take that as your excuse to hop off your program if you're getting gains and you have a goal, because that won't help. But there's a time and a place for everything. Oh. All right, well, that's all she wrote. We're back. Definitely feeling better than I was before. Still a little sniffly, but I'm gonna eat good. I'm gonna sleep good. Finally slept good last night for the first time in a couple days, so positive steps and feeling less terrible. And we got this workout in, so back on track. We're gonna get a couple more in this week. Wednesday, I think, will be that nice dynamic day, so we'll get our sprints going. We'll get some more jumps that day. And yeah, that's all. But right now, I'm gonna pound an OJ shake on the way home and go make a ton of dinner and freaking chill. It's been a nice day, but that's all. Thanks for watching. Peace.